Lake Anari, situated within the Arctic Circle, is located in which European country? Finland. Lake Anari, one of the largest lakes in Finland and Lapland, is located entirely within the Arctic Circle. It is the third largest lake in Finland and an important geographical feature in the country's northern region. Herman Van Rompuy, the inaugural president of the European Council, previously served as Prime Minister of which nation? Belgium. Herman Van Rompuy, a Belgian politician, served as the first permanent president of the European Council from 2009 to 2014. Prior to this, he was the Prime Minister of Belgium from 2008 to 2009, holding a crucial role in both national and European governance. What is the term for the seat or carriage placed on the back of an elephant for riding? Howdah. A howdah is a carriage or seat that is placed on the back of an elephant, primarily used for riding, hunting, or ceremonial purposes. Historically, howdahs were often ornately decorated and used by royalty and nobility in various parts of Asia. Which renowned composer created Pomp and Circumstance March No. 4 in 1907? Edward Elgar. Pomp and Circumstance March No. 4 in G major was composed by the distinguished British composer Sir Edward Elgar in 1907. It is part of his celebrated series of ceremonial marches, which are widely performed at graduations and other formal events. What is the fundamental monetary unit of Vietnam? Dong. The dong is the official currency of Vietnam. Issued by the State Bank of Vietnam, it is the fundamental monetary unit used for all transactions within the country. The annual Frieze Art Fair, a prominent international contemporary art event, is held in which London park? Regent's Park. The Frieze Art Fair, an internationally acclaimed event showcasing contemporary art, is held annually in Regent's Park, London. The fair features leading galleries and artists from around the world, making it a significant fixture in the global art calendar. Metachrosis is the ability of some animals to do what? Change color. Metachrosis refers to the ability of certain animals, like chameleons and octopuses, to rapidly change their skin coloration. This physiological process is primarily used for camouflage, predator avoidance, and communication, adapting to their environment or expressing mood. Where on the human head would you find an epicanthic fold? Eyelid. An epicanthic fold is a skin fold of the upper eyelid, covering the inner corner, medial canthus, of the eye. It is a common anatomical feature in individuals of East Asian descent and in infants of various ethnicities. Which British Prime Minister resigned in 1940? Neville Chamberlain. Neville Chamberlain resigned as British Prime Minister in May 1940, amidst criticism of his wartime leadership and the failure of the Norway campaign. He was succeeded by Winston Churchill, who then led Britain through the majority of World War II. Dulse is an edible type of what? Seaweed. Dulse, Palmaria palmata, is a red alga, a type of edible seaweed rich in minerals, vitamins, and protein. It is traditionally harvested and consumed in coastal regions of the North Atlantic and Pacific, often used as a snack, condiment, or ingredient in various dishes. From what island destination was HMS Bounty returning when its famous mutiny occurred? Tahiti. The HMS Bounty was returning from Tahiti, where it had been collecting breadfruit plants, when its infamous mutiny occurred on April 28, 1789. The mutineers, led by Fletcher Christian, cast Captain William Bligh and loyal crew members adrift. Which famous poet and author, born in India in 1865, wrote the poem, "The female of the species is more deadly than the male"? Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling, a Nobel laureate, wrote the poem, "The female of the species is more deadly than the male." Born in Bombay, India, in 1865, Kipling is renowned for his works such as The Jungle Book and Kim, reflecting his experiences in British India. Zagazig is a city in which North African country? Egypt. Zagazig is a prominent city in the Shakya Governorate of Egypt, located in the eastern part of the Nile Delta. It is an important agricultural and commercial center, known for its strategic location and historical significance. Who was named England's first poet laureate? Ben Jonson. Ben Jonson, a prominent playwright and poet of the English Renaissance, is often cited as England's first poet laureate, though the title was not formally conferred upon him in the modern sense. He received a pension from James I in 1616, which is widely considered the unofficial start of the laureateship. Which of the British Armed Forces is known as the Senior Service? Royal Navy. The Royal Navy is known as the Senior Service, due to its historical precedence as the oldest and, for many centuries, the most crucial branch of the British Armed Forces. Its continuous service and pivotal role in maritime power shaped the British Empire and global history. Who was William Shakespeare's wife? Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway was the wife of William Shakespeare, marrying him in November 1582 when she was 26 and he was 18. She was pregnant at the time of their marriage, and they had 3 children together, Susanna and twins Hamnet and Judith. What type of fruit is a jargonelle? Pear. A jargonelle is a specific cultivar of pear, known for its distinctive elongated shape and often greenish-yellow skin. This variety of fruit is appreciated for its sweet, juicy flesh and is typically harvested in late summer to early autumn. What is the name of the opera house which opened in Milan in 1778? La Scala. La Scala, formerly known as Teatro alla Scala, is one of the world's most renowned opera houses, located in Milan, Italy. It officially opened on August 3, 1778, and has since been a leading venue for opera and ballet performances globally, premiering many iconic works. What is the longest nerve in the human body? Sciatic nerve. The sciatic nerve is the longest and widest single nerve in the human body, extending from the lower back through the buttocks and down the back of each leg. It provides motor and sensory functions to the thighs, lower legs, and feet, and plays a crucial role in leg movement and sensation. What was the Old English silver coin worth 4 pre-decimal pennies? Groat. A groat was an Old English silver coin introduced in the 14th century, initially valued at 4p, or 4 pre-decimal pennies. The term, groat, is derived from the Dutch, groot, meaning, great, or, large, referring to its size relative to smaller coins of the time. The Bay of Plenty is on the coast of which country? New Zealand. The Bay of Plenty is a major bight, a wide curving indentation of a coastline, on the northern coast of the North Island of New Zealand. It is known for its mild climate, fertile land, and significant horticultural production, especially kiwi fruit and avocados. What is commonly produced by pouring water into a pan of boiling cooking oil, an indoor rainbow, dry ice, popcorn, or a fierce kitchen fire? A fierce kitchen fire. Pouring water into boiling oil causes the water to instantly vaporize and expand rapidly, displacing the oil and creating a large surface area. This can cause the hot oil to ignite, leading to a dangerous and fierce kitchen fire. This is a critical kitchen safety hazard to avoid. The natural geological columns of Fingal's Cave and the Giant's Causeway are formed of which rock? Basalt. Fingal's Cave in Scotland and the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland are iconic natural wonders characterized by their striking hexagonal basalt columns. These formations are the result of ancient volcanic activity, where molten basaltic lava cooled and contracted, forming distinct geometric pillars. Who was the last emperor of China? Puyi. Puyi, also known as Azanzhou Puyi, served as the 12th and final ruler of the Qing dynasty and was the last emperor of China. He reigned as the Shatong Emperor from 1908 until his abdication in 1912, a pivotal event that marked the end of imperial rule and the establishment of the Republic of China. The introduction of what vegetable coincided with the coronation of the British monarch in 1902? King Edward potato. The King Edward potato variety was first introduced around 1902, serendipitously coinciding with the coronation of King Edward VII as the British monarch. This distinct potato, known for its red patches and flowery texture, quickly became a popular staple in the United Kingdom. How many strings does a mandolin commonly have? 8. A mandolin typically features 8 strings, which are arranged in 4 courses, with each course consisting of 2 strings tuned in unison. This paired string configuration allows the mandolin to produce a brighter, louder, and more resonant tone, characteristic of the instrument. What 3-letter brand meaning, flight, is the Polish national airline? LOT. LOT Polish Airlines is the flag carrier of Poland and is commonly known by its 3-letter acronym, LOT. The word LOT directly translates to flight in Polish, accurately reflecting the company's primary business. Established in 1928, it is among the world's oldest continuously operating airlines. What are the first names of writer J.R.R. Tolkien? John Ronald Reuel. J.R.R. Tolkien, the acclaimed author of classic fantasy novels like The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, was born John Ronald Reuel Tolkien. A distinguished philologist and professor at Oxford University, his profound academic background in language and mythology significantly influenced his groundbreaking literary creations. What is deoxyribonucleic acid commonly known as? DNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, is a nucleic acid containing the genetic instructions used in the development and functioning of all known living organisms and many viruses. It is the main component of chromosomes and is responsible for the hereditary characteristics of living things. Which modern country was known as Lusitania during the Roman era? Portugal. Lusitania was an ancient Roman province that roughly corresponded to modern-day Portugal, along with parts of western Spain. It was named after the Lusitanians, an Indo-European people inhabiting the region prior to Roman conquest. In which city is the Book of Kells currently housed? Dublin. The Book of Kells is an illuminated manuscript gospel book in Latin, created by Celtic monks around 800 AD. This masterwork of Western calligraphy is permanently exhibited at the Library of Trinity College, Dublin, Ireland. The Mach speed measurement, such as Mach 1 or Mach 2, is primarily based on multiples of the speed of what phenomenon? Sound. The Mach number, m or ma, is a dimensionless quantity representing the ratio of flow velocity past a boundary to the local speed of sound. Mach 1 refers to the speed of sound, while Mach 2 is twice the speed of sound, a concept widely used in aeronautics and fluid dynamics. What is the name of the village near Birmingham, UK, established by George and Richard Cadbury? Bonville. Bonville is a model village in Birmingham, England, renowned for its association with the Cadbury Chocolate Company. Established by George and Richard Cadbury in the late 19th century, it was designed to provide improved housing and living conditions for their factory workers, reflecting a pioneering approach to industrial welfare and urban planning. What search engine did Microsoft launch in 2009? Bing.com. Bing.com is a web search engine owned and operated by Microsoft, launched in June 2009. It succeeded Microsoft's previous search services, Live Search, Windows Live Search, and MSN Search, aiming to compete with dominant players in the search market. According to a ruling in 2009 by the UK Advertising Standards Authority, what could women be shown to do in TV adverts before 11 p.m.? Orgasm. In 2009, the UK Advertising Standards Authority, ASA, issued a ruling that allowed for sexually suggestive content, including depicting women experiencing orgasm, in television advertisements before 9 p.m., but only if handled with sufficient discretion. This decision aimed to clarify guidelines around sexual content in advertising, balancing creative freedom with public decency standards. Which monarch's 500th anniversary of accession was featured on a 2009 commemorative £5 coin? Henry VIII. Henry VIII, ruled 1509 to 1547, is a prominent figure in English history, known for his 6 marriages and the English Reformation. The commemorative coin in 2009 marked 500 years since his accession to the throne, highlighting a significant historical milestone. Which major European city is traversed by the Manzanares River? Madrid. The Manzanares River is a relatively small river in central Spain, serving as a tributary of the Jarma River, which itself flows into the Tagus. It flows through the heart of Madrid, playing a historically and geographically significant role in the city's development and landscape. Metrophobia informally refers to the irrational fear or hatred of what? Poetry. Metrophobia is a specific, often irrational, fear or intense aversion to poetry. Individuals with metrophobia may experience significant anxiety, discomfort, or panic when encountering poetry or even contemplating it. In which European city is the headquarters of the Council of Europe located? Strasbourg. The Council of Europe is an international organization dedicated to upholding human rights, promoting democracy, and reinforcing the rule of law across Europe. Established in 1949, it operates independently of the European Union, with its main seat in Strasbourg, France. If something is coriaceous, what does it resemble or have the texture of? Leather. The term, coriaceous, is used in biology and botany to describe a texture that is tough, leathery, or stiff. It is often applied to leaves, wings, or other anatomical structures to indicate a firm, almost skin-like consistency. In which country is the city of Makkah? Saudi Arabia. Makkah is a city in the Hejaz region of Saudi Arabia and is considered the holiest city in Islam. It is the birthplace of the Prophet Muhammad and the site of the Kaaba, the most sacred site in Islam, which pilgrims circumambulate during the Hajj. A lustrum is a period of how many years? 5. A lustrum is a period of 5 years. Historically, in ancient Rome, it was originally a purification ceremony for the Roman people held by the censors every 5 years after the census. A diptych is a painting or altarpiece of how many panels, commonly hinged together? 2. A diptych is an artwork consisting of 2 panels, typically made of wood or ivory, that are joined by a hinge or fold. These panels can be closed together, protecting the painted or carved surfaces inside, and were historically used for altarpieces, portraits, or devotional art. What Maryland presidential retreat, previously called Shangri-La, was renamed by Dwight D. Eisenhower after his grandson? Camp David. Camp David is the country retreat for the President of the United States, located in Catoctin Mountain Park, Maryland. President Franklin D. Roosevelt originally named it Shangri-La, but President Dwight D. Eisenhower renamed it after his grandson, David Eisenhower, in 1953. Which part of a woman's body is named after German physician Ernst Grafenberg? G-spot. The G-spot, Grafenberg spot, is a controversial erogenous zone inside the vagina. It is named after German gynecologist Ernst Grafenberg, who, along with others, described it in medical literature in the mid-20th century. In 1997, the Royal Academy of Art controversially exhibited a 1995 portrait of which convicted murderer, made from children's handprints, by Marcus Harvey? Myra Hindley. The portrait in question, titled Myra, was created by Marcus Harvey and exhibited at the controversial Sensation exhibition at the Royal Academy of Art in 1997. It depicted Myra Hindley, a notorious British serial killer, using hundreds of children's handprints, sparking widespread public outrage and debate about artistic freedom and ethical boundaries. What is the most common natural pollinator of the pineapple? Hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are the primary natural pollinators of the pineapple plant, Ananas causis. Their long beaks are perfectly adapted to reach the nectar deep within the pineapple flowers, facilitating cross-pollination. What geographic term for a bay derives originally from the Greek word kolpos meaning bosom? Gulf. The geographic term Gulf derives from the Greek word kolpos, meaning bosom, referring to the breast or a hollow. A gulf is a large inlet from the sea into the land, typically larger and more deeply indented than a bay. A symbol comprising three dots, which if joined form an upright equilateral triangle, represents what word? Therefore. The therefore symbol, therefore, is a common mathematical and logical symbol used to denote a conclusion. It is formed by three dots arranged in an upright equilateral triangle. What is the main element of pewter, used for tableware and vases, etc.? Tin. Pewter is an alloy primarily composed of tin, traditionally mixed with copper, antimony, and sometimes bismuth. It is widely used for decorative items, tableware, and jewelry due to its malleability and attractive finish. In which city is the Galileo Galilei Airport? Pisa. The Galileo Galilei Airport, also known as Pisa International Airport, is located in Pisa, Italy. It is one of the main airports in Tuscany, serving both domestic and international flights. Who is the only woman, up until 2010, ever to have run for leadership of the British Labour Party? Margaret Beckett. Margaret Beckett holds the distinction of being the first woman to run for the leadership of the British Labour Party, standing in 1994 after the death of John Smith. She also briefly served as acting leader in 2003. Which Caribbean island, especially its capital city Plymouth, suffered long-term devastation after the previously dormant Surya Hills volcano began erupting in 1995? Montserrat. Montserrat is a Caribbean island that experienced severe devastation from the eruption of the Surya Hills volcano, which began in 1995. The capital, Plymouth, was completely buried by volcanic ash and mud flows, rendering it uninhabitable and leading to significant population displacement. Bibliomania is the compulsive collecting or hoarding of what? Books. Bibliomania is a psychological disorder characterized by the obsessive collecting and hoarding of books. It is distinct from bibliophilia, which is a healthy love of books, by its compulsive and potentially harmful nature. Name the Green Party leader and its first parliamentary MP, who won the Brighton Pavilion seat in the UK May 2010 general election? Caroline Lucas. Caroline Lucas became the Green Party's first Member of Parliament, MP, in the UK, winning the Brighton Pavilion seat in the 2010 general election. She has been a prominent figure in environmental politics and served as the party's leader. In 1834, who invented raised point writing using a six-dot system enabling the blind to read? Louis Braille. Louis Braille developed the Braille system, a tactile writing method using six-dot cells, in 1824, not 1834, after being blinded in an accident as a child. This revolutionary invention enabled blind and visually impaired individuals worldwide to read and write effectively. Whose state funeral was held on the 15th of December 1840, 19 years after his death and burial in an unmarked grave? Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte, the influential French military leader and emperor, died in exile on Saint Helena in 1821. His remains were repatriated to France in 1840, where a grand state funeral was held in Paris, leading to his final interment at Les Invalides. What word, originally meaning female slave, in Greek, refers to a woman who provides support and help to a pregnant woman before, during, and after childbirth? Doula. A doula is a non-medical professional who provides continuous physical, emotional, and informational support to a mother before, during, and shortly after childbirth. The term originates from the ancient Greek word for female slave or woman servant. In Japan, what did the word Mikado originally refer to? The emperor. In Japan, Mikado or Te, is an archaic term referring to the Emperor of Japan. It literally translates to honorable gate, signifying the imperial court or the emperor himself, though the more common term today is Tenno. What country's name derives from an Iroquois word for village? Canada. The name, Canada, is believed to originate from Kanata, a word in the Huron-Iroquois language meaning village or settlement. In 1535, indigenous inhabitants used this term to direct explorer Jacques Cartier to the village of Stadacona, near present-day Quebec City. Which Shakespearean character is known as the Moor of Venice? Othello. Othello is the protagonist of William Shakespeare's tragedy, Othello, the Moor of Venice. He is a courageous and respected Moorish general in the Venetian army, whose tragic downfall is orchestrated by the villainous Iago. What is the previous and common alternative name for the Indian city of Mumbai? Bombay. Mumbai, the capital city of Maharashtra, India, was officially known as Bombay until 1995. The name change reflected a move away from colonial era nomenclature, re-establishing the indigenous Marathi name. Which city, home to Coca-Cola's headquarters, hosted the 1996 Summer Olympic Games? Atlanta. Atlanta, Georgia, served as the host city for the Centennial Olympic Games in 1996, marking 100 years since the first modern Olympics. The city is also notably home to the global headquarters of the Coca-Cola Company. Name Francis Drake's ship, in which he circumnavigated the globe between 1577 and 1580. Golden Hind. Sir Francis Drake famously circumnavigated the globe aboard his ship, the Golden Hind, between 1577 and 1580. This remarkable voyage made him the first Englishman to achieve this feat and played a significant role in English maritime history. What skin and eye coloring is associated with jaundice? Yellow. Jaundice is a medical condition characterized by a yellow discoloration of the skin, mucous membranes, and whites of the eyes. This yellowing is caused by hyperbilirubinemia, an excess of bilirubin in the blood, which is a byproduct of red blood cell breakdown. Hyacinthioids is the scientific name for which protected spring flowering plant? Bluebell. Hyacinthioids is the genus of flowering plants commonly known as bluebells, notable for their bell-shaped flowers. In the UK, the native common bluebell, Hyacinthioids non-scripta, is a protected species under the Wildlife and Countryside Act. What color is formed by the equal combination of green and blue light, and is represented by C in CMYK color printing? Cyan. Cyan is a primary subtractive color, often described as a greenish blue. In additive color theory, light, cyan is created by combining green and blue light, while in subtractive color theory, pigments like in CMYK printing, cyan is a primary color alongside magenta and yellow. What photographic tone gives the effect of age, characterized by a reddish-brown hue? Sepia. Sepia toning is a chemical process used in photography to change the tonal range of black and white prints to a reddish-brown color. This technique not only gives photographs an antique or aged appearance but also enhances their archival permanence. Which sea is home to the port city of Archangel, and Onega Bay? White Sea. The White Sea is a southern inlet of the Barents Sea, located on the northwest coast of Russia. It is one of the 4 Russian seas named after colors, and its major port city is Archangel, an important historical port for trade and naval operations. What popular food product is derived from the seeds of the tropical Theobroma cacao tree? Chocolate. Chocolate is produced from the seeds, or beans, of the Theobroma cacao tree, which is native to tropical regions of Mesoamerica. These beans undergo fermentation, drying, roasting, and grinding to produce cocoa mass, which is then processed into various forms of chocolate. Which semi-precious stone, known for its blue-green color, adorned Tutankhamun's burial mask and is similar in hue to the eggs of an American robin? Turquoise. Turquoise is an opaque, blue to green mineral, prized as a gemstone for thousands of years. It was extensively used in ancient Egyptian art and jewelry, notably featuring prominently on the iconic burial mask of Pharaoh Tutankhamun, symbolizing divinity and protection. What color, typically green but also appearing yellow, is named after a French herbal liqueur introduced by Carthusian monks in the 18th century? Chartreuse. Chartreuse refers to a vibrant green or yellow-green color, named after a French liqueur produced by Carthusian monks since the 18th century. The liqueur itself has 2 main variants, green chartreuse, stronger, and yellow chartreuse, milder, giving rise to the 2 associated color terms. What color is Tyrian, a dye highly prized by the Romans? Purple. Tyrian purple was a precious dye produced by ancient Phoenicians, highly valued by the Romans for imperial and senatorial robes due to its rich, deep hue and rarity. Its production involved mollusks and was extremely labor-intensive, making it a symbol of status and power. Name the London Borough and Royal Observatory site which marks international time. Greenwich. Greenwich, a borough in London, is home to the Royal Observatory, which established the prime meridian, 0 degrees longitude, and Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. GMT was historically the international standard for timekeeping, making Greenwich a significant location for global navigation and time synchronization. Prince Andrew served for 22 years with what organization? Royal Navy. Prince Andrew, Duke of York, served in the Royal Navy for 22 years, including active service as a helicopter pilot during the Falklands War. His military career is a notable aspect of his public life and connection to a key national institution. What pigment especially associated with oil painting derives its name from heat treatment and a Tuscany city? Burnt sienna. Burnt sienna is a reddish-brown pigment widely used in oil painting, derived from natural raw sienna clay which is then calcined, heat-treated. Its name originates from Siena, a city in Tuscany, Italy, where the earth pigment was historically sourced and processed. Caroline Lucas is head of what UK organization? The Green Party. Caroline Lucas is a prominent British politician and former co-leader of the Green Party of England and Wales. She was the first Green Party Member of Parliament, representing Brighton Pavilion, and is a leading voice on environmental policy and social justice in UK politics. Who was English king from 1650 to 1702? William of Orange. William of Orange, born in 1650, became King of England, Scotland, and Ireland in 1689, ruling jointly with his wife Mary II after the Glorious Revolution. His reign continued until his death in 1702, a period pivotal for the development of parliamentary democracy and the Bill of Rights in Britain. What is the negatively emphatic expression in the USA for the smallest amount of money? Red cent. A red cent is an idiomatic expression in the United States, used to denote a very small, insignificant amount of money, often in a negative context, e.g., I won't give him a red cent. The term likely originated from copper pennies, which could appear reddish, and emphasizes the absolute minimum value. What college in New Cross is part of the University of London? Goldsmiths. Goldsmiths, University of London, located in New Cross, is a constituent college known for its focus on arts, design, humanities, and social sciences. Established in 1891, it is a significant institution within the University of London Federation, contributing to its diverse academic profile. Name the low-cost private domestic airline based in Gurgaon, Haryana, India. Indigo Airlines. Indigo Airlines is a leading Indian low-cost airline headquartered in Gurgaon, Haryana. Known for its extensive domestic network and growing international presence, it is a significant player in the Indian aviation market, contributing substantially to regional connectivity and economic activity. What is the prestigious and precious metal identified by the ISO currency code XPT? Platinum. Platinum is a rare and valuable silvery white transition metal, highly prized for its resistance to corrosion and high melting point. Its ISO 4217 currency code, XPT, designates it as a commodity currency, used in financial markets for trading and investment, reflecting its status as a precious metal alongside gold, XAU, and silver, XAG. Which dabbling duck species, known for its common, eye-patched, variety, is recognized as the smallest among all dabblers? Teal. Teals are small-sized dabbling ducks belonging to the Anas genus. They are characterized by their distinctive eye patches and are found in various wetlands across the northern hemisphere. Their role in wetland ecosystems makes them a subject of study in ornithology and ecology. Which color's name is derived from the Latin root word for shade? Umber. Umber is a natural earth pigment that gets its name from umbra, the Latin word for shade or shadow. This reddish-brown pigment is known for its deep, earthy tones and has been historically used in art for centuries. Its etymology reflects its dark, shadowy appearance. What orchestral instrument, named from the Italian word for small, is traditionally considered to have the highest pitch? Piccolo. The piccolo is a half-size flute, pitched an octave higher than the standard concert flute, making it the highest pitched instrument in the orchestra. Its name, derived from the Italian word piccolo, meaning small, accurately describes its size and higher register. It is frequently used for brilliant and piercing effects in orchestral music. Which renowned and often controversial artist was responsible for designing the Chupa Chups lollipop logo? Salvador Dali. Salvador Dali, a prominent Spanish surrealist artist, designed the iconic daisy-shaped Chupa Chups logo in 1969. This collaboration highlights Dali's diverse artistic ventures, extending beyond traditional painting into commercial design, making it a notable fact in art history and brand design. What is the name of the prominent eastern seaboard region of Nicaragua and southern Honduras, named after its indigenous Native American people? The Mosquito Coast. The Mosquito Coast, also known as Mosquitia or Mosquito Coast, is a significant geographical and cultural region along the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua and Honduras. Named after the Mosquito people, an indigenous ethnic group, it has a rich history influenced by British colonial interests and indigenous autonomy. Its distinct cultural and ecological landscape makes it a key area in regional geography and ethnography. What is the traditional timing device used by musicians which clicks at a selected rate? Metronome. A metronome is a device used by musicians that marks time at a selected rate by giving regular clicks or flashes. It helps musicians maintain a consistent tempo during practice or performance, thereby improving rhythmic precision and accuracy. During which war was the Battle of Anzio? The Second World War. The Battle of Anzio was a significant military engagement during the Italian campaign of World War II, lasting from January to June 1944. Allied forces conducted an amphibious landing at Anzio in Nettuno, aiming to bypass German defenses and advance towards Rome. The port of Drammen is in which European country? Norway. Drammen is a prominent port city situated in Buskerud County, Norway, located at the mouth of the Drammen-Selva River. It functions as an important commercial and industrial hub, facilitating trade and transportation within the region. Tintagel in Cornwall is considered one of the main possible sites for which legendary court? Camelot. Tintagel Castle, located on the coast of Cornwall, England, is strongly associated with the legends of King Arthur. Medieval tales link it as the place of Arthur's conception. Archaeological excavations at the site have unearthed evidence of high-status occupation during the post-Roman period, fueling its connection to the mythical court of Camelot. Which major thoroughfare connects with Broadway at Times Square in New York City? 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a major east-west thoroughfare in the New York City borough of Manhattan. It is particularly famous for its intersection with Broadway at Times Square, an iconic cultural and commercial hub. This area is central to New York's theater district and a major tourist destination. Abyssinian, British Longhair, and German Rex are all breeds of what animal? Cats. These are distinct breeds of domestic cats, each recognized for specific physical characteristics and temperaments. The Abyssinian is known for its ticked coat, the British Longhair for its plush fur, and the German Rex for its curly coat. Knowledge of common animal breeds is a component of general awareness. Who led the charge up San Juan Hill in Cuba during the Spanish-American War in 1898? Teddy Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt, then Assistant Secretary of the Navy, famously led the Rough Riders in a charge up Kettle Hill, often conflated with San Juan Hill, during the Battle of San Juan Hill on July 1, 1898. This heroic action significantly contributed to his rise to the U.S. presidency. At which battle did the significant engagement known as Pickett's Charge occur? Gettysburg. Pickett's Charge was a disastrous infantry assault ordered by Confederate General Robert E. Lee against Union Major General George G. Meade's positions on Cemetery Ridge on July 3, 1863, the final day of the Battle of Gettysburg. This frontal assault resulted in devastating casualties for the Confederacy and marked a turning point in the American Civil War. In which capital city are the Jardin du Luxembourg, Luxembourg Gardens, located? Paris. The Jardin du Luxembourg is a public park located in the 6th arrondissement of Paris, France. Created in 1612 by Marie de' Medici, the widow of King Henry IV, for her new residence, the Luxembourg Palace, it is now owned by the French Senate. Which U.S. state contains the geographical center of the contiguous United States? South Dakota. The geographical center of the contiguous United States is located near Lebanon, Kansas. However, the geographical center of all 50 U.S. states, including Alaska and Hawaii, is located near Belfort, South Dakota, as designated by the U.S. Coast and Geodetic Survey. What are the smallest blood vessels of the human body called? Capillary. Capillaries are the smallest and most numerous blood vessels, forming a critical network that connects arterioles and venules. Their extremely thin walls facilitate the efficient exchange of oxygen, nutrients, and waste products between the blood and surrounding tissues at the cellular level. What general term is used for the living contents of a cell? Protoplasm. Protoplasm refers to the complete living material within a cell, encompassing both the cytoplasm and the nucleus. It is the fundamental substance of life, where all vital metabolic activities, such as growth, metabolism, and reproduction, take place. What term is typically used for a small English settlement lacking a church? Hamlet. A hamlet is a small human settlement that is generally smaller than a village and often lacks a church, parish, or a defined administrative center. It typically consists of a cluster of dwellings or farms and may not possess services common to larger communities. The name of which African city translates into English as White House? Casablanca. Casablanca is a major city in Morocco and one of the largest on the African continent, serving as a significant economic and business center. Its name is derived from Spanish, literally meaning White House, referring to the distinct white architecture historically prevalent in the city. Which general was famously nicknamed Old Blood and Guts? Patton. George S. Patton Jr. was a prominent general in the United States Army during World War II, renowned for his aggressive leadership and strategic prowess. His distinctive nickname, Old Blood and Guts, reflected his bold personality and uncompromising style of command on the battlefield. Which Moroccan port city is situated on the western entrance to the Strait of Gibraltar? Tangier. Tangier is a major Moroccan port city located strategically on the Strait of Gibraltar. Its historical significance stems from its position as a gateway between the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea, influencing trade and cultural exchange for centuries. Which country is often referred to as the Giant of Africa, due to its large population? Nigeria. Nigeria is widely known as the Giant of Africa, due to its immense population, which is the largest on the African continent. This demographic strength also contributes to its significant economic and political influence in the region. From which country did Madagascar declare its independence in 1960? France. Madagascar gained full independence from France on June 26, 1960, after a period of French colonial rule that began in the late 19th century. This event was part of a broader wave of decolonization across Africa in the mid-20th century. Which prominent military general died in Germany in December 1945 as a result of a car crash? George S. Patton. General George S. Patton, a distinguished American military leader of World War II, died in December 1945 from injuries sustained in a car accident in Germany. His aggressive leadership was crucial in several key Allied campaigns, including the Battle of the Bulge and the rapid advance across France. Which traditional pantomime is based on a literary work first published in 1719? Robinson Crusoe. The pantomime, Robinson Crusoe, is based on Daniel Defoe's novel of the same name, published in 1719. This work is a seminal text in English literature, often cited as one of the earliest novels, exploring themes of survival, self-reliance, and colonialism. Which raft completed a famous crossing from Peru to Polynesia in 1947? Kon-Tiki. The Kon-Tiki expedition in 1947 involved a balsa wood raft led by Thor Heyerdahl, which successfully sailed from Peru to the Polynesian islands. This journey aimed to demonstrate the feasibility of pre-Columbian trans-Pacific voyages by indigenous South Americans. What is the capital city of Barbados? Bridgetown. Bridgetown is the capital and largest city of Barbados, an island nation in the Caribbean. It is a major port and the economic hub of the island, recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its historical significance. In which U.S. state is the city of Boston located? Massachusetts. Boston is the capital and most populous city of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, USA. It is one of the oldest cities in the United States and played a pivotal role in the American Revolution. Geronimo was a leader of which Native American tribe? Apache. Geronimo was a prominent leader and medicine man from the Apache tribe, renowned for his resistance against the United States and Mexico's expansion into Apache tribal lands during the late 19th century. He became a legendary figure for his strategic prowess and determination. Which Shakespeare play has the subtitle, What You Will? Twelfth Night. Twelfth Night, or What You Will, is one of William Shakespeare's most beloved romantic comedies, believed to have been written around 1601 to 1602. The play explores themes of love, mistaken identity, and gender roles, set during the festive season of Twelfth Night. Edinburgh University lecturer Joseph Bell was the inspiration for which character? Sherlock Holmes. Dr. Joseph Bell, a surgeon at the Royal Infirmary of Edinburgh, was renowned for his exceptional observational and deductive skills. Arthur Conan Doyle, who studied under Bell, openly acknowledged him as the principal inspiration for the iconic character of Sherlock Holmes. The Man of Property is the first book in which series? The Forsyte Saga. The Man of Property is the inaugural novel in John Galsworthy's monumental, The Forsyte Saga, first published in 1906. This acclaimed series chronicles the lives of the wealthy, upper-middle-class Forsyte family in England, offering a critical look at society and property ownership from the late Victorian era to the 1920s. What information did members of the Waffen-SS have tattooed on their arms? Blood group. Members of the Waffen-SS, the combat arm of the Nazi Party's SS organization, were required to have their blood group tattooed on the underside of their left arm. This practice was implemented to facilitate rapid blood transfusions in case of battlefield injury, serving a practical medical purpose during World War II. Which is the smallest true thrush normally seen in Britain? Redwing. The redwing, Turdus iliacus, is considered the smallest true thrush regularly observed in Britain, particularly as a winter visitor. These migratory birds arrive from Scandinavia and Russia, characterized by their prominent creamy white supercilium and reddish flanks. What is the correct term for a female bear? Sow. In zoological terminology, a mature female bear is referred to as a sow, while a male bear is called a boar. Their young are known as cubs. This terminology is also commonly applied to pigs and other large mammals, highlighting a consistent pattern in animal nomenclature. Which is the largest type of kangaroo? Red kangaroo. The red kangaroo, Macropus rufus, is the largest extant marsupial and the largest terrestrial mammal endemic to Australia. Males can stand over 2 meters tall and weigh up to 90 kilograms, primarily inhabiting the semi-arid and desert regions across central Australia. What was the original name of the Cape of Good Hope? Cape of Storms. The Cape of Good Hope, a rocky headland on the Atlantic coast of South Africa, was originally named Cape of Storms, Cabo das Tormentas, by Portuguese explorer Bartolomeu Dias in 1488. It was later renamed by King John II of Portugal, signifying the opening of a crucial sea route to India and the East. Who composed and wrote the librettos for the Savoy operas? Gilbert and Sullivan. The Savoy operas are a series of 14 comic operas created by the playwright W. S. Gilbert, librettist, and composer Arthur Sullivan. These highly successful works, known for their wit and memorable tunes, were produced by Richard D'Oyly Carte and premiered primarily at London's Savoy Theatre in the late 19th century. What was the controversial original title considered for D. W. Griffith's film, The Birth of a Nation? The Clansman. D. W. Griffith's The Birth of a Nation, 1915, is a seminal but highly controversial film due to its racist themes and glorification of the Ku Klux Klan. The film's initial working title, The Clansman, highlighted its problematic subject matter, drawing heavily from Thomas Dixon Jr.'s novel of the same name. If a car is traveling at 30 miles per hour, mph, what is its approximate overall stopping distance in feet? 75 feet. The overall stopping distance of a vehicle traveling at 30 miles per hour is approximately 75 feet under ideal conditions. This distance includes both the driver's reaction time and the vehicle's braking distance, though actual figures can vary significantly based on road conditions, vehicle maintenance, and driver alertness. The Test Acts of the 17th century imposed civil disabilities on whom? Catholics or nonconformists. The Test Acts were a series of English penal laws enacted in the 17th century that mandated religious adherence to the Church of England for public office and employment. These acts effectively excluded Roman Catholics and Protestant nonconformists from holding civil and military positions, influencing British political and social life for over a century. The Stamp Act of the 18th century imposed taxes on which area under British rule? Americas. The Stamp Act of 1765 was a direct tax imposed by the British Parliament on its colonies in America, requiring that most printed materials be produced on stamped paper. This act was met with widespread protest and resistance, becoming a significant catalyst for the American Revolution as it raised fundamental questions about colonial representation and taxation. Which acts affected the ownership of almost 11,000 square miles of common land? Enclosure Acts. The Enclosure Acts were a series of parliamentary acts in Britain, primarily from the 18th and 19th centuries, that facilitated the consolidation of common land and open fields into privately owned and managed plots. This process dramatically transformed the agricultural landscape, leading to increased efficiency but also displacing many traditional commoners and contributing to urbanization. Who was the first U.S. president to wear a full beard in office? Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th U.S. president, was the first American president to grow a full beard while serving in office. He began growing his iconic beard shortly after his election in 1860, a move suggested by an 11-year-old girl, and it quickly became a defining feature of his public image during the Civil War era. Who was U.S. president at the start of the 20th century? William McKinley. William McKinley was the 25th President of the United States, serving from 1897 until his assassination in September 1901, making him the president at the commencement of the 20th century. His presidency was marked by economic prosperity and significant foreign policy developments, including the Spanish-American War and the acquisition of new territories. Which highly poisonous substance was once known as prussic acid? Hydrogen cyanide. Hydrogen cyanide, HCN, is a highly toxic chemical compound historically referred to as prussic acid. It is a colorless, volatile liquid with a characteristic bitter almond odor and is extremely dangerous due to its rapid interference with cellular respiration. Under what name was nitric acid known to alchemists? Aqua fortis. Nitric acid, hydrogen nitrate, a strong mineral acid, was historically known to alchemists as aqua fortis, meaning strong water. This name was given due to its potent corrosive properties and its ability to dissolve many metals, though notably not gold, distinguishing it from other acidic compounds. Which acid received its name from its ability to dissolve gold and silver? Aqua regia or royal water. Aqua regia, meaning royal water, in Latin, is a highly corrosive mixture of concentrated nitric acid and hydrochloric acid, typically in a 1:3 molar ratio. It is renowned for its unique ability to dissolve noble metals like gold and platinum, which are otherwise resistant to individual acids. In which year was Hong Kong handed back to the Chinese government? 1997. Hong Kong was formally handed over from British to Chinese sovereignty on July 1, 1997, marking the end of 156 years of British colonial rule. This significant historical event was a result of the 1984 Sino-British Joint Declaration, establishing the one country, two systems principle for Hong Kong's governance. At which institute was Dolly the sheep cloned? Roslin Institute. Dolly the sheep, the first mammal to be successfully cloned from an adult somatic cell, was created at the Roslin Institute in Scotland. Her birth in 1996 was a monumental scientific breakthrough, demonstrating the feasibility of reproductive cloning and sparking widespread scientific and ethical discussions. Lovers of the stinking rose have a fondness for which food? Garlic. Garlic, Allium sativum, is a widely used culinary ingredient, known for its pungent flavor and strong aroma. Historically, it has been valued for both its culinary and medicinal properties across various cultures. The ancient ritual of bull leaping took place on which Mediterranean island? Crete. Bull leaping was a significant ritualistic practice in Minoan Crete during the Bronze Age, depicting acrobats vaulting over a charging bull. This activity is prominently featured in frescoes and artifacts found at sites like Knossos, providing insights into Minoan society and beliefs. The Lake District is located in which English county? Cumbria. The Lake District National Park, renowned for its glacial ribbon lakes and fells, is primarily located in Cumbria, a county in northwest England. It is the largest national park in England and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, celebrated for its stunning natural beauty and literary associations. Which popular garden flow's name literally means many flowers? Polyanthus. Polyanthus is a hybrid plant derived from Primula species, known for its clusters of colorful flowers. Its name is derived from the Greek words poly, many, and anthus, flower, accurately reflecting its characteristic multi-flowered stalks. Ringed, golden, and Kentish are all species of which bird? Plover. Plovers are a group of wading birds found worldwide, known for their short bills and typically coastal or open field habitats. The ringed, golden, and Kentish plovers are notable species within this family, recognized for their distinct plumage and migratory patterns. Which summer visitor to Britain has varieties including marsh, grasshopper, and willow? Warbler. Warblers are small, often colorful, insectivorous passerine birds, many of which are migratory. Marsh, grasshopper, and willow warblers are common summer visitors to Britain, known for their distinctive songs and ecological roles in various habitats. Which species has types including rock, tree, and meadow? Pipit. Pipits are small passerine birds belonging to the genus Anthus. They are often terrestrial, feeding on insects, and are found in various habitats, with rock, tree, and meadow pipits being well-known examples adapted to specific environments across Europe and Asia. The SYRIZA party won the general election in which European country? Greece. SYRIZA, Coalition of the Radical Left, is a left-wing political party in Greece. It rose to prominence during the Greek sovereign debt crisis, winning the general election in January 2015 and forming a government, marking a significant shift in European politics. Which organization was famously depicted as a cart horse in the political cartoons of David Lowe? The Trades Union Congress, TUC. David Lowe, a prominent British political cartoonist, frequently satirized contemporary politics and society. His portrayal of the Trades Union Congress, TUC, as a cart horse symbolized its perceived slow, lumbering, but ultimately powerful and enduring nature within British politics and industry. What astronomical feature is sometimes called the Way of St. John? Milky Way. The Milky Way is the galaxy that contains our solar system. From Earth, it appears as a hazy band of light across the night sky. The Way of St. John is an ancient folk religious name for the Milky Way, often associated with pilgrimage routes and celestial pathways. Which state of the USA has land borders with Georgia and Alabama? Florida. Florida is a state located in the southeastern region of the United States. Its northern border is shared with the states of Georgia and Alabama, making it a key geographical feature of the American South. Who was the mother of the English kings Richard I and John? Eleanor of Aquitaine. Eleanor of Aquitaine was one of the most powerful and wealthy women in medieval Europe. She was Queen of France and later Queen of England, and mother to two English kings, Richard I, the Lionheart, and John. Her influence profoundly shaped Anglo-French relations and medieval politics. In which English county is Buckfast Abbey, famed for its tonic wine? Devon. Buckfast Abbey, a Benedictine monastery, is situated in Devon, England. It is widely known for producing Buckfast tonic wine, a fortified wine that has gained significant cultural recognition. Mozambique and which other African country have the letter Q in their name? Equatorial Guinea. This question tests geographical knowledge of African nations. Equatorial Guinea is a Central African country, while Mozambique is located in Southeast Africa, known for its extensive coastline. Whose sayings are collected in the hypothetical Q document or Q source? Jesus. The Q source, from German, Quelle, meaning source, is a hypothetical written collection of sayings of Jesus. It is posited by biblical scholars as a common source for the Gospels of Matthew and Luke, in addition to the Gospel of Mark. What was the Roman name for York? Ebricum. Ebricum was the Roman name for the city of York in England. It served as a crucial Roman military base and later became the capital of the province of Britannia Inferior, highlighting its strategic importance in Roman Britain. Which 12th century Cistercian abbey stood just outside Ripon? Fountains Abbey. Fountains Abbey is one of the largest and best preserved ruined Cistercian monasteries in England. Founded in 1132, it is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site due to its significant historical and architectural value. Which musical instrument was based on the Portuguese dragueina? Ukulele. The ukulele is a small, four-stringed musical instrument that originated in 19th century Hawaii. It evolved from several small guitar-like instruments, particularly the machete de braga, also known as braguina, or dragueina, brought to the islands by Portuguese immigrants. Which country is bordered by Italy, Austria, Croatia, and Hungary? Slovenia. Slovenia is a Central European country known for its diverse geography, encompassing mountains, forests, and a short coastline. It shares land borders with 4 other European nations: Italy to the west, Austria to the north, Hungary to the northeast, and Croatia to the south and east. Which town stands at the confluence of the rivers Thames and Kennet? Reading. Reading is a large market town in Berkshire, England, strategically located at the confluence of the River Thames and its tributary, the River Kennet. This historical position contributed to its development as a significant centre for trade and transport in the region. In 1972, John Hicks became the first Briton to win which of the Nobel Prizes? Economics. Sir John Richard Hicks was a British economist who, along with Kenneth J. Arrow, was awarded the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences in 1972. He received the award for his pioneering contributions to general equilibrium theory and welfare economics, marking him as the first British recipient of this esteemed prize. Which was the first European country to be led by a president? France. France is widely considered the first European country to be led by a president following the establishment of the First French Republic in 1792. While the exact nature of the presidential role has evolved, this transition from monarchy marked a significant historical precedent for republican governance in Europe. Who was the first English king given the title Defender of the Faith? Henry VIII. King Henry VIII of England was granted the title, Fidei Defensor, Defender of the Faith, by Pope Leo X in 1521. This honor was bestowed upon him in recognition of his theological treatise, Assertio Septem Sacramentorum, which defended the 7 sacraments against Martin Luther's early Reformation teachings. Which aristocratic title derives its name from the Anglo-Saxon term for warrior? Earl. The aristocratic title, Earl, originates from the Old English word, eorl, which signifies a man of noble birth, a chieftain, or a warrior. It is the oldest title in the British peerage system, ranking below a marquess and corresponding to the continental title of Count. Why did the retirement of 4 animals named Tom, Flax, Cal, and Alan make significant news? They were the last pit ponies of the British coal industry. Tom, Flax, Cal, and Alan were the last 4 pit ponies used in the British coal mining industry, retiring from their duties at the Ellington Colliery in 1994. Their retirement was a significant news event, symbolizing the end of a long era of using animals in British coal mining and marking a poignant moment in the nation's industrial heritage. Which European country's traditional hunter stew is named bigos? Poland. Bigos, often translated as hunter's stew, is a traditional Polish dish made of chopped meat, sauerkraut, and fresh shredded cabbage. It is considered a national dish of Poland, frequently consumed during autumn and winter festivities. On which Scottish island group is the Ring of Brodgar Stone Circle located? Orkney Islands. The Ring of Brodgar is a Neolithic henge and stone circle located on the island of Mainland in the Orkney Islands, Scotland. It is part of the Heart of Neolithic Orkney UNESCO World Heritage Site, highlighting its immense archaeological and historical significance. Celiac disease is an autoimmune disorder caused by a reaction to which substance? Gluten. Celiac disease is a serious autoimmune condition where the body's immune system attacks its own tissues when gluten is consumed. Gluten is a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye, triggering damage to the lining of the small intestine in affected individuals. Which ancient organization controls the grazing rights in the New Forest? Court of Warderers. The Court of Warderers is an ancient court, established in the New Forest, England, primarily to protect and administer the area's unique ecosystem and commoning practices. It holds authority over the New Forest, including managing grazing rights for ponies, cattle, and donkeys, ensuring the preservation of this historic landscape. Which capital city was previously known as Edo or Edo? Tokyo. Tokyo, the current capital of Japan, was historically known as Edo from the 17th to the 19th century. During the Edo period, 1603 to 1868, it served as the seat of the Tokugawa shogunate, becoming the largest city in the world by the 18th century before being renamed Tokyo in 1868. Which Roman emperor allegedly killed his pregnant wife, Poppaea Sabina, by kicking her in the stomach? Nero Claudius Caesar Augustus Germanicus. Nero Claudius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, commonly known as Nero, was the fifth Roman emperor. Historical accounts suggest his volatile nature, and he is infamous for several alleged cruel acts, including the purported killing of his second wife, Poppaea Sabina, in a fit of rage. Which island, whose name means main province, constitutes 60% of Japan's total land area? Honshu. Honshu is the largest and most populous island of Japan, often referred to as the mainland. It is home to major cities like Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka, and is considered the economic and cultural heartland of the country. Honiara is the capital city of which nation? Solomon Islands. Honiara is the capital of the Solomon Islands, an island nation located in Oceania, east of Papua New Guinea. It is situated on the northwestern coast of Guadalcanal Island. Who composed the music for the films Gandhi and Satyajit Ray's revered Apu trilogy? Ravi Shankar. Ravi Shankar, an iconic Indian sitarist and composer, is renowned for his contributions to global music. He composed scores for several films, notably Richard Attenborough's Gandhi and Satyajit Ray's acclaimed Apu trilogy, bridging Indian classical music with Western audiences. Which EU country's major daily newspapers include the title Algemeen Dagblad? Netherlands. The Algemeen Dagblad, AD, is one of the largest daily newspapers in the Netherlands, an EU member state. It is known for its broad coverage, catering to a general audience across the country. Admiral Americo Thomas became president of which NATO member nation in 1958? Portugal. Americo Thomas served as the 13th president of Portugal from 1958 to 1974. His presidency was part of the Estado Novo regime, an authoritarian corporatist government that ruled Portugal until the Carnation Revolution. Hanbok is the traditional dress worn by men and women in which Asian country? South Korea. Hanbok is the traditional attire of Korea, worn by both men and women, particularly for formal occasions and celebrations. Characterized by vibrant colors and simple lines, it reflects the country's rich cultural heritage. Which country's TV market is the largest in Western Europe, with 34 million connected homes? Germany. Germany possesses the largest television market in Western Europe, with a substantial number of connected homes. This reflects its large population and robust economic infrastructure, making it a significant player in the media industry. Which country is home to Lake Balaton, the largest lake in Central Europe? Hungary. Lake Balaton, often referred to as the Hungarian Sea, is the largest lake in Central Europe. Located in Hungary, it is a major tourist destination, popular for its beaches, volcanic hills, and thermal springs. Which US pop artist's work includes a 1974 piece entitled The Red Horseman? Roy Lichtenstein. Roy Lichtenstein was a leading figure in the pop art movement, known for his distinctive style inspired by comic strips and advertising. His work, The Red Horseman, exemplifies his exploration of popular culture and art history through a modern lens. Which bone in the human forearm is slightly thicker than its pair? Radius. The human forearm comprises two long bones, the radius and the ulnar. The radius, located on the thumb side, is generally thicker and shorter than the ulnar, playing a crucial role in wrist and hand movement and weight bearing. What is removed in a procedure called an oophorectomy? Ovary or ovaries. An oophorectomy is a surgical procedure involving the removal of one or both ovaries. This operation is performed for various medical reasons, including the treatment of ovarian cancer, endometriosis, or to reduce the risk of certain cancers. Who coined the term Big Bang for the cosmic theory explaining the origin of the universe? Sir Fred Hoyle. Sir Fred Hoyle, an English astronomer, coined the term Big Bang in 1949 during a BBC radio broadcast. Ironically, Hoyle was a proponent of the rival steady-state theory and used the term derisively, but it became the widely accepted name for the prevailing cosmological model. Which conqueror established Samarkand as his imperial capital in 1370 AD? Timur, Tamerlan the Great. Timur, also known as Tamerlan, was a Turco-Mongol conqueror who founded the Timurid Empire in 1370. He made Samarkand his illustrious capital, transforming it into a center of art, science, and Islamic culture, showcasing architectural marvels that endure to this day. The European Union Student Exchange Program is named after which prominent Dutch Renaissance figure? Erasmus of Rotterdam. The Erasmus program, now part of Erasmus+, is named after Desiderius Erasmus of Rotterdam, a renowned Dutch humanist and theologian. Erasmus was a leading scholar of the Northern Renaissance, advocating for intellectual exchange and critical thought across Europe, making him a fitting namesake for a program promoting international student mobility. The Ankole Watusi, a breed originally native to Africa, belongs to what kind of animal? Cattle. The Ankole Watusi is a distinctive breed of cattle known for its extraordinarily large horns, which can span up to 8 feet. Originating from Africa, particularly the Great Lakes region, these cattle hold significant cultural value among various pastoralist communities and are adapted to harsh environments. Which Mesoamerican civilization's calendar system was associated with popular predictions and fixations regarding the year 2012? Maya. The Maya civilization developed a sophisticated calendar system, including the long count calendar, which completed a Baekatun cycle on December 21, 2012. This completion led to widespread but erroneous popular interpretations of an impending apocalypse, rather than simply a cyclical renewal as understood by Mayanists. In Greek mythology, who was the wife of Orpheus who became trapped in Hades? Eurydice. Eurydice was the wife of the legendary musician Orpheus in Greek mythology. Following her death by a snake bite, Orpheus attempted to retrieve her from the underworld, charming Hades and Persephone with his music, but tragically failed due to a moment of doubt and looking back before they reached the surface. What was the term used to refer to a member of the serf underclass in ancient Sparta? Helot. Helots were a subjugated population group that formed the lowest class in Spartan society, primarily agricultural laborers tied to the land. They vastly outnumbered the Spartan citizens and their constant threat of rebellion significantly shaped Sparta's militaristic social structure and policies. What technical term describes the science, production, and study of grapes? Viticulture. Viticulture is the specialized branch of horticulture that deals with the cultivation and harvesting of grapes. This field encompasses the entire process from vineyard management to grape production, essential for the wine industry and various other grape-related products. Barium chlorate is used as an oxidizer in fireworks to produce which color? Green. Barium compounds are frequently employed in pyrotechnics, serving both as an oxidizer and a colorant. When heated in a flame, barium icons emit light at specific wavelengths, resulting in the characteristic vibrant green color seen in fireworks and flares. In 1984, which cosmonaut became the first woman to perform a spacewalk? Svetlana Savitskaya. Svetlana Savitskaya, a Soviet cosmonaut, made history on July 25, 1984, by becoming the first woman to perform an extravehicular activity, EVA, commonly known as a spacewalk. This significant achievement occurred during her second mission aboard the Salyut 7 space station. Which country is the world's top producer of orange juice? Brazil. Brazil consistently holds the position as the world's largest producer and exporter of orange juice. Its extensive citrus groves, particularly in the state of São Paulo, and favorable climate contribute significantly to its dominant global market share in orange juice production. Which Chinese phrase can be translated as wind and water? Feng Shui. Feng Shui is an ancient Chinese practice and philosophical system focused on harmonizing individuals with their surrounding environment. The term directly translates to wind-water, reflecting its core principles that consider the flow of energy, qi, through landscapes and architectural arrangements to achieve balance and prosperity. Who was the father of King Henry IV of England? John of Gaunt. King Henry IV was the first Lancastrian king of England. His father, John of Gaunt, was the third surviving son of King Edward III and played a significant role in English politics during the late 14th century, laying claim to the Castilian throne. Which was the second country to adopt postage stamps? Brazil. The United Kingdom introduced the penny black in 1840 as the world's first adhesive postage stamp. Brazil followed shortly after in 1843 with its bull's eye stamps, becoming the second nation to adopt this postal innovation. Why was the color of the penny black changed to red? To ensure clarity of postmarks and prevent reuse. The penny black, the world's first adhesive postage stamp, was issued in 1840. Its black color made it difficult to clearly see the red postmarks applied to cancel it, and the red ink could be washed off, allowing fraudulent reuse. To address these issues, the penny red was introduced in 1841, which allowed for the use of more permanent black ink postmarks, making cancellations clearer and preventing fraud. In Louisiana, what type of foodstuff is a po' boy? Sandwich, baguette. A po' boy is a traditional submarine sandwich from Louisiana, specifically New Orleans. It typically consists of meat or seafood, often fried, served on a piece of French bread, and is considered a quintessential part of the region's culinary heritage. In which part of the body is the brachial artery? Arm. The brachial artery is a major blood vessel located in the upper arm. It is the continuation of the axillary artery and supplies oxygenated blood to the arm and hand. Its pulse is often palpated during blood pressure measurements. In which English city is the Don Valley Stadium? Sheffield. The Don Valley Stadium was a multi-purpose sports stadium located in Sheffield, England. Opened in 1990, it was primarily used for athletics and was a prominent venue for major sporting events until its demolition in 2013. What is a Lulworth skipper? Butterfly. The Lulworth skipper, Thymelicus actaeon, is a small butterfly species native to Europe and North Africa. In the UK, it is a protected species, primarily found along specific coastal grasslands, making it an indicator species for certain ecological habitats. Which Greek god was the twin sister of Apollo? Artemis. In Greek mythology, Artemis is the Olympian goddess of the hunt, wilderness, wild animals, the moon, and chastity. She is the daughter of Zeus and Leto, and the twin sister of Apollo, the god of music, poetry, light, and healing. To which family of birds does the chiffchaff belong? Warbler. The chiffchaff, Philoscopus colubita, is a common and widespread leaf warbler found across Europe and Asia. It is a migratory passerine bird known for its distinctive two-note, chiff-chaff, song, which gives it its common name. Dido was the legendary founder of which ancient city? Carthage. Dido, also known as Elisa, was the legendary founder and first queen of the Phoenician city-state of Carthage, located in modern-day Tunisia. Her story is notably recounted in Virgil's epic poem, the Aeneid. What is the capital city of Trinidad and Tobago? Port of Spain. Port of Spain is the capital city of Trinidad and Tobago, an island nation situated in the southeastern Caribbean Sea. It serves as a major port and is the country's main financial and commercial hub. Which English cathedral has an octagonal tower? Ely. Ely Cathedral, located in Cambridgeshire, England, is renowned for its magnificent octagonal lantern tower, known as the Octagon. This architectural marvel, completed in the 14th century, is considered a masterpiece of English Gothic architecture.